recommendations for chiropractic students while they're in school to make some money, to earn a living, to do things on the side? Like, do you have any recommendations for students in
Oh,
that regard?
that's a great question. I love that question actually, because in school, as you're learning the technical aspects of your trade, I think concurrently we should be starting to flex our entrepreneurial minds, because you're going to need that when you get out. And if you didn't think that you had to deal with that coming out, there's going to be a rude awakening. So I love that question because it's going to really help you with that. Um, just to preface, in chiropractic school, I did something. Now, I don't know if it was legal or not. So the disclaimer here is that I do not know if it's allowed to be done in your school. But what I did was, in student clinic, I don't know if you're in clinic yet, but we had to do this entire like 1 hour and a half workup on each new patient. Every single dot dotted, T crossed, X-rays marked, and like 4 different techniques across the board. And I don't know how it's done now, but I really got a kick out of just drawing lines. And I was a gondroid in school, president of the Gonstead Club, so I really enjoyed just looking at the lines and stuff. And I never could get my hands on enough of them. So one time in student clinic in the X-ray lab, I helped a buddy out with that. He had to run and do something. So I said, "Hey, dude, you know what? Let me finish it off for you. All right, and I'll put it back and I'll sign it back out, and you'll be good to go." It's like, dude, I'm so thrilled. So I did it for him, and then he came back the next day, and then he said, "Dude, I really appreciate you helping me out. That really helped me. I needed to get this credit in." He was upper quarter. He's about to graduate. So he's like, "Let me take you out to dinner." I was like, "Dude, I just did it as a favor. You don't have to pay me back. Just, whatever." He's like, "Dude, I got to give you something, man. Can I just give you some cash because you can't go to dinner?" I was like, "No, I'm seriously. It's okay." He's like, "Dude, you should do this for other people." Ding, 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 ding. So in school, what I did was I worked up the charts for my colleagues' cases, and I did all the dirty work for them, like stuff that, let's be honest, like you're not going to learn a lot by checking boxes and stuff. After you do the 1 or 2, it's like whatever. But what it turned out to is that I became a mentor to them, and I started teaching them at that level, the little that I knew, and I was getting paid. So they used to give me like, I think like $40 a case, and I did like 3 or 4 of them a week, and that's how I made some extra cash. It was for my peers, but it was a win-win because I was getting so much out of it as well. And they were getting so much out of it as well because I was actually mentoring them. That was my experience, and a couple of other experiences are things that I saw my colleagues doing was study guides. So these are the real people who actually pay attention in class. That's a prerequisite, and good note taking. And nowadays with all the recording stuff, I mean, when I was in school, I feel like a dinosaur. Like you really had the old school pen to paper, the tape recorders, and they were tape recorders, like reel to reel stuff. No, I'm just kidding. They were small, and they used to tape all the notes out, and then they used to make study guides based off of the notes. And it was great because sometimes I couldn't be either physically present, emotionally, or mentally present for every single class. But it was nice knowing, like, I had a colleague, a peer in my class that was taking all the notes, and he's to print them out, and he used to sell each one for like $10. I was like, that's very pioneering and entrepreneurial. I loved it. And that's another one. And the last example that I have for things that I've seen done in schools that help out with that is actually visiting other chiropractic offices in the neighborhood. And I'll tell you something, docs in the field, the one thing they always would like help at a low cost that is productive is people to pound the pavement and help get the word out about their practices. Everyone is always looking for that. And hopefully we get to the part of the call where I can tell you how not to feel that pressure when you get out, because that pressure sucks, is I still have docs, student peers that used to go door to door to chiropractic offices. Hey, so anything that I could do in terms of the marketing front to help you get the word out about your clinic? And I would say that was the best. I never did that. I mean, I went door to door for my own student clinic, but those guys, I look at them now and they're absolutely killing it because the level of confrontational their threshold for confrontation was so high that they could talk to anyone, anytime, and they developed this knack of thinking on their feet and seeing the perspective of their perspectives, and being able to connect with them very quickly and being able to build relationships. I don't know if you know, docs, whoever's or students, if you're on the line, you are in the relationship business. And if you didn't think you were in the relationship business, another rude awakening for you. This is a people business. Excuse me. You're not really in chiropractic. You're in people, and you provide chiropractic to people. But ultimately, you're in the people business, and that was probably one of the best things that I've seen. And the docs used to pay them, a couple of bucks an hour, or maybe they put them on like a profit share where every lead that came in, I don't know how they were compensated, but they did fairly well, enough to buy drinks at the local bar that weekend. That's all I cared about.
Yeah, right.
Know,
that's all that's important.
Who did this? Who has the most dough in school? Because I'm gonna go to him at the bar, man, because I need him to buy me some drinks.